Is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre is really your cup of tea? Then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
Welcome to the GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. How are you guys doing? Are you good? I'm excellent, especially because the sun came out, and prior to the sun coming out, I was a little shook because the fog is an issue. Now, I don't know why we don't have like fog warnings. I'm not sure why we don't. We got flash flood warnings. We got hurricane warnings. We have tornado warnings, earthquake warnings. They even had a fake warning in Hawaii for a fake missile. They even had a missile warning. It wasn't even a missile. They even had a missile warning just because. Now, I'm not going to say that the fog is an underrated form of natural disaster. And I'm not going to say that fog clouds are being discriminated against. I'm just going to say that fog is dangerous. It's very dangerous. Now, if y'all could send me a text message to my phone saying, hey, there's a missile in Hawaii, but there's not really a missile in Hawaii. And you guys can send me a text message to my phone and say, hey, we've got a blue Ford Explorer that has possibly kidnapped somebody in Maine, and I'm in California. That text message doesn't do anything for me, but I get it. You want everyone to know, and I appreciate the use of technology. I appreciate the responsible use of technology. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All I'm saying is, if we have other ways to send out warnings, I feel like we should possibly be able to send out a fog warning. Because I was in the fog today, and me personally, I'm a punctual individual because things happen. I'm not necessarily punctual for other people's time, even though that's why you should be punctual, just because you don't want to waste people's time, and just being late to things is kind of tacky, right? That's not why I'm on time. I'm on time because stupid stuff happens, and sometimes I don't know where I'm going. I can go somewhere 600 times, and then something dumb will happen. Like this fog, for example. I'm not going to say I was watching a YouTube video. I'm not going to say I was singing a song really loud. I'm not going to say I started daydreaming. All I know is I'm driving in the lane I'm supposed to be driving in, and the fog got a little confusing. And the next thing I know, I'm driving past schools that aren't on my route to get to the studio. I'm just driving past random schools, and I don't know where I'm at. At first, I was going to check the GPS, but I'm not going to check the GPS. I know where I'm at. I'm on the right street. I'm just not going in the right direction at this point. You ever heard that? You on the right train, but the wrong track. You know what I mean? Teamwork make the dream work. So that's called dirty macking, in case you didn't know. But I'm just saying, I just feel like when the fog is being irresponsible, it's irresponsible for our people that are in charge of alerts to not send us out a fog warning. Because the fog is thick. It is thick. Listen, you know how have you ever been outside and then you put your hand in front of your face and you can't see your hand because it's that much fog? That's how foggy it was. And if it's that foggy, there should be a warning. I'm not saying they should shut down the schools like for like a snow warning. I'm not saying anything like that at all. I don't think the school needs to be shut down. I just think that people should have a heads up. Like, hey, you know what? Just so you guys know, the fog is thicker than a Snicker outside. Just so you guys know, the fog is thicker than a Snicker. That's all I need to know. That's it. That's it. Anyway, I appreciate you guys listening. To that, and I hope that if you are in fog right now, that you're paying really good attention to driving, because it's not a good look. Anyhow, let me tell you something else is not a good look. Are you guys aware that like the mail runs slow? Like sometimes you don't get your mail, right? I mean, well, actually, that's not true. In the U.S., I don't think a lot of us even want the mail we get. I mean, we may get like a card from somebody, for like a graduation present or like a birthday card or just something like somebody may send you a shirt, whatever. But as far as us ordering things ourselves, we depend more or less on Amazon or like FedEx. We pay more to get things to us because we don't really trust the mail, right? Like, I mean, a lot of us are waiting on W-2s, right? Are you still waiting on W-2s? Exactly. That's my point. But would you ever think that something fishy was going on with the mail? Would you ever think that? Would you ever think that there was something like weird happening? Well, okay, let me tell you this. In Italy, the mail service is apparently really bad, and people complain about it all the time. And nothing's ever done about it because it's the mail, and people are like, whatever, shut up. Like, nobody cares about how long your mail takes. You shouldn't be ordering stuff to the mail anyway. Like, isn't that how people treat you when you order something? Isn't that how people treat you when you do something in a manner that's like antiquated? Like, if you're like, hey, my VCR doesn't work, shut up. You shouldn't be using the VCR anyway, which you shouldn't, but that doesn't make you a bad person. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, you know? But so what happened was some people some volunteers at a recycling center reported receiving 25 big yellow containers from the postal service with mail inside. So they received containers that had mail still inside of them, and they were wondering, hey, what's going on? They contacted the police, and the police found a stash of mail in the 56-year-old postman's garage. Now, he's 56 years old, and apparently, let me just make something clear to you guys. They found, okay, are you ready for this? Are you ready? They found half a ton of undelivered mail in his garage. Half a ton of undelivered mail. It's just not delivered. Like, it's just at his house in his garage, just chilling. And it's so crazy because I don't know if he was trying to find out how long he could get away with this, because apparently he decided to just take 25 bags of the mail to the recycling center. Like, are you serious? Like, let me get this straight. You're not delivering people's mail, but you're responsible enough to go recycle your paper? Just put it in the trash. Like, why are you going, like, so you care about people, you care about the planet, but you don't care about people receiving like their W-2s. Now, he's not even a retired postal worker. He's not retired at all. He's not. He is still working, and he's been collecting this mail for the past 8 years. Utility bills, bank statements, phone books, political propaganda from the 2010 regional elections. He just collecting mail in his garage. And the only reason he got caught is because he got tired of collecting it. So they seized half a ton of mail from his house, but they only seized half a ton because he decided to take 25. He decided to take 25 bags to the recycling center. Now, we don't know how many other times he's taken these bags to the recycling center. We have no idea. We don't know. So he might have been trying to drop off this mail like a little by little. You ever watch Shawshank Redemption, and you know how Andy Dufresne is just walking around the yard like letting the dirt fall out of his pocket? It's just like that. It's just like that. Like, slowly but surely, this guy just thought he could just take all this mail and get rid of it. But I have my question about this is this: if he's been stealing mail for if he's been hoarding mail for 8 years, is he even doing his job? Like, is he going to the post office, like driving to work, checking in, picking up mail, then just going home? Is that what he's doing? Who's in charge of this guy? Listen. Hold on. I gotta take a quick commercial break. When I get back, I'm gonna investigate this a little bit more because I don't even understand how this could possibly happen. Be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. Now, I was just telling you guys about this postman who basically hoarded a half a ton of mail in his garage. And I want to know how this went unnoticed for so long. He's been hoarding mail for 8 years. He's been collecting mail at his house for 8 years, and he got caught because he happened to take some bags of mail to the recycling place, which is crazy because you don't care about people getting their W-2s and their utility bills and everything, but you care about saving the environment. I don't understand how that thought process works, but we all have different goals and situations. So that's fine. Like, that's completely okay. I just want to know how this went unnoticed for so long. And the only reason they found out is because people that worked at the recycling center were like, this seems weird that we have all these bags of unopened mail. We should contact someone. They called the police. The police were like, well, let's go see what's going on. So if nobody called the police, you're telling me this could have just kept happening? This could have just kept happening? And it says that Italians fed up with the country's lousy postal service may now have found a culprit. You're telling me that this has been happening for 8 years and you guys couldn't tell? Y'all didn't notice somebody was just, wait, let me get this straight. Hold on. You didn't notice that somebody was going to work and picking up mail and then not delivering the mail? And you know what? I'm actually going to go out on a limb here. I'm actually going to go out on a limb and blame society. And I really am, because I'm going to blame society. And I'm going to tell you guys why I'm going to blame society because of this. It's because, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people don't complain in real life. So people complain on the internet and get online and complain and say an album sucks, or they'll say a YouTube video sucks, whatever. They'll complain about all that stuff because they're at home, Twitter fingers, trigger fingers, all that. But no one complains when it matters, right? So this is why people are haters. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of game real quick. People are haters because they can only control so much in their life. So they go on websites and they criticize people because that's them having power and control, because they haven't gotten their W-2 in the mail yet. They haven't gotten their utility bill in the mail yet. And they're not getting their bills in the mail. So they're like, my life sucks. I gotta take it out somewhere else. Why? Because if I call the phone company and tell them I'm not getting my bill, they're not gonna care. And that's what we do. Not we, but that's what a lot of society does. We can't control things, so we complain in ways that don't really matter, right? That's why people will give you the finger in traffic. Why? Because they're not very happy with what's going on in their life. Whatever they're trying to control, they can't control. But if more of us were calling in hey, you know what? I'm not getting my mail. Or you're not? No, I'm not getting my mail. In fact, I haven't seen the mailman in 8 years. What? I haven't seen the mailman hasn't been to my house in 8 years. What? Yeah. So all of us, I took a survey around the block. I went to Nancy's house. I went to Dan's house. I went to Susan's house. I went to Carol's house. No one has seen the mailman in 8 years. Man, that's just ridiculous. John Snyder works that route. He's there all the time. No, he's not. You need to do something about it. And that's it. We could have found this out. We could have found out what's going on 5 years ago, but people don't speak up. People are like, whatever. Can't do anything about it. Can't do anything about that. The mail just sucks. What do you mean the mail just sucks? And yeah, the mail isn't good, right? This happened in Italy or whatever, but in here in the US, it's not terrible. Actually, you know what? Hold on. It is pretty bad because I just recently contacted one of my, a 401k provider for an employer I used to have. And I said, hey, I need to make a withdrawal from that account. I'm not going to be using it. Shoot me the money. The lady told me, we sent you the check in July. And I said, what? She says, yeah, we sent it in July. I'm like, has it been cashed? She's like, no, it hasn't been cashed. I'm like, wait, you guys sent me a check in July. It hasn't been cashed. Yeah. Okay. Can you send it again, ma'am? Yeah, of course. Then I just got a note a couple days ago, like that was sent. It was processed. The note was processed like a day before I spoke to this woman that said, we sent you a check and it's going to be voided because it's expired. What? Listen, if you guys send me a check and it hasn't been cashed in like 2 months, call me immediately. But I never got this check. I never got it. I never received the check. So the mail sucks too here. I mean, you know what? I shouldn't say it sucks. It's just not very good. Because I feel like, especially with money, if you put a check in the mail, like, I think you should just get it. Like, and you know, I blame there being so much spam in the mail. There's so much spam in the mail that if I'm the mailman, you know, I'd be kind of frustrated too, right? Because say you're not even really delivering anything important. So I in a way, I kind of feel with this mailman. I'm not saying I condone his behavior, but I understand. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because I probably get, 4 pieces of mail per day, right? 4 pieces of mail per day. What's 7 times 4? 28. I get 28 pieces of mail per week. You know how many of those pieces of mail are important? Like important. Couldn't go without them. None of them. None of them. Because all my billing is online. All of it's online. A lot of my stuff is on auto pay. And you're telling me that so the mailman just walking around carrying a whole bunch of like auto loan advertisements and credit card advertisements and in recreational magazines for your neighborhood. I kind of understand them. I kind of get it. Most of the mail is complete garbage anyway. And he just got tired of doing it. But, you know, like, it's your job. It's your job, sir. It's your job. So you got to give people their mail. Even if I don't want my mail, you still got to bring it to me. Sorry, dude. Like, that's just what you have to do. Even if you bring the mail to me in the rain and you hand it to me and I throw it back at you and say, I don't want this mail. It looks stupid. You still have to deliver it. They said that the mail comes in rain, sleet, and snow. This guy wasn't bringing it at all. At all. They said the rain comes hail, sleet, rain, snow. He wasn't bringing it at all. He wasn't bringing it to the beach. I bet the only reason he works at the post office is so that he can go to the mail and get his mail faster. So he can go on to work, filling his truck with mail, getting his mail, driving back home, just dumping it all in his garage. I don't even understand how that goes on for so long. Apparently, Italy is really cool because when I watch Italy on TV, just Italy because there's a show. It's called Italy. I just watch it on TV. That's sarcasm. When I see Italy on TV, it just seems like it's really cool. It seems like it's as lax as they make LA look on TV. Like they make it just look really cool, but like more lax. Like LA with Miami and Texas. Just relaxed beaches and people just chilling. And maybe that's why people are like, oh, whatever. Mail, schmail. I don't need the mail. It's not a big deal. For 8 years, 8 of them. Oh man, that's terrible. So, I don't really know who's to blame. I could blame the mailman, but the way I see it, if you're not doing your job for 8 years, and nobody says anything, I can't knock you. I really can't. If you've been showing up somewhere and not doing your job for 8 years, they're still paying you. I can't knock you. I really don't. And if you're a citizen that's being out hustled for 8 years, I don't know. I can't really feel too bad for you either. I can't. The only people I feel bad for are the people who are going to receive mail really late. Because when you get mail late and like things are expired, it's like, oh, here's a check for you, but it's probably expired. It's 8 years old. You got to call and have the check reissued. You got to fix a bunch of stuff. That's what I feel bad for. I feel bad for the people that are going to get late mail. It's going to cause problems in their lives. Like, he did write me a letter. They did send me the bill. I did receive that check. He did turn in his 2 weeks. So I feel bad for them. Other than that, as far as the guy goes, hey man, more power to you. If you can show up somewhere, I mean, and just not do your job for 8 years. No one says anything. I feel like I don't know. I mean, that's like 2 terms of presidency. I don't know. I can't knock your hustle. I really can't. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a brief commercial break. I'm going to tell you guys why you got to be careful with walking your dog around eagles. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. And if you do, don't eat a Tide Pod. Be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC, Invicta FC, Bellator, and One Championship. We got the fights covered. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts. Past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway. Presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. So, if you guys are just now joining us, I'm just letting you know that if your mail is really bad in your area, you may want to do some research because there's a possibility that the mailman just isn't delivering it. A mailman in Italy was caught with half a ton of mail in his garage. He just had it in his garage, just chilling basically. So that's my first warning. If the mail is bad, you should report it because there's a mailman somewhere that's just playing. He's just playing. So this is my second warning for you guys. If you have a dog, I'm gonna need you to just watch out for eagles. Because right now, during this cold front we're having right now, food is low. Food is real low, and it's really scarce. A man was walking his dog in New York, and basically minding his own. Actually, I'm sorry. This was in Palmerton, Pennsylvania. He's walking his dog, minding his own business, and an eagle swooped out of the sky and just took the dog. The dog was 8 pounds. The dog was 8 pounds. Just took him. Just took the dog. In the air. Flew off with him. The man hopped in the car, tried to kind of follow the eagle, but it's an eagle, right? He's not flying over streets. He's just flying away. There's no speed limits and stop signs. And I mean, it was a valiant effort, but no, it didn't quite work out. Luckily, a woman was walking and she found the dog covered in icicles, really cold, barely able to be barely living. She takes the dog home, gives him some soup, and he's fine. Some chicken and rice or whatnot. And the dog was fine. After that, the lady saw the news and saw that people were missing the dog. The dog got reunited with the people. So this got me thinking, right? Now, I was wondering how to tell you guys about this last week. No, I was wondering how to tell you guys about this on Monday. But I was watching the old Jurassic Park. I'm sorry, the new one that just came out. It came out on the remake, the reboot or whatever. I was watching it, and these pterodactyls get out of this cage or whatever, and they're just grabbing people. The pterodactyls are just grabbing people and flying off with them. And I'm like, that is terrifying. That's terrifying. Can you imagine if a bird could just come out of the sky and grab you? Now, I'm not one to do a lot of complaining, and I'm not one to tell someone to be happy with where they're at. I'm just saying, listen, y'all, there was a time where as a caveman, you could be minding your own business and a pterodactyl can just grab you. It's already crazy to think of an eagle grabbing a dog. He's grabbing the dog's 8 pounds. I didn't even know eagles were that strong. I had no idea. I didn't know. I know condors have a wingspan of 6 feet. I didn't know eagles were that strong. I didn't know their talons could just grab a whole dog like that. I had no idea. And to grab it and then fly away with it. Just call, and just fly off. It's ridiculous. So if you're out walking your dog, I need you guys to just be careful. Be careful around, because food is scarce. Apparently it's really cold outside. And basically with it being really cold, apparently, your dog can get snatched up by an eagle. Because the rats and raccoons, they're all hiding. The squirrels, they know better. But apparently eagles are like, you know what? It's do or die today. It's do or die. And they're going and they're hitting. Eagles are out here hitting today. So be careful. They're hitting. What do football players say? They're hitting out there today. Hard. It's crazy because obviously the eagle couldn't carry the dog for that long, because it's like, if I'm a dog, I'm losing my mind while you're grabbing me. I'm flipping out. And apparently he couldn't hold that long, because I know when birds grab stuff with their feet, they usually like crush it with the talons usually go into the animal, then the animal like dies and the bird can just live its life and just have a smorgasbord of this animal's soul. But don't mark my words, I'm not 100% sure how that happens. But with that said, I personally believe that we should all be happy that we don't live in caveman times when a pterodactyl can just grab you and take you away. It's insane. Time for best history. Did you guys know that prior to the 1960s that doctors would actually endorse cigarettes as like healthy? Like they had like physician endorsed ads. Like more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Lucky's, less irritating, it's toasted. So they actually had doctors repping cigarettes. Like saying, hey, you guys know what? This is the best cigarette for you. One ad said, your throat, it's toasted, your throat protection against irritation, against cough. So cigarettes were supposed to stop you from like getting sick and coughing. Crazy, right? Just be happy that you live in this time. Just be happy. Can you imagine? Like we already have, they have to make sure that cigarettes and other ads are banned, right? They have to actually, you know what's so crazy? Let's fast forward, right? So it's wrong to say that cigarettes are good for you, right? And now they've had this massive campaign to make sure that no one's smoking cigarettes, that they'll kill you, they're terrible, don't be near them, they're terrible. They do all this stuff, right? Meanwhile, alcohol is constantly celebrated in our country. And people will tell you all day long, drinking red wine is good for you. Drinking red wine is good for you. I wonder if like 50 years from now, their alcohol's gonna be the same way. Like, can you imagine that doctors used to recommend red wine? I wonder. I mean, they do. I just wonder. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, with that, I thank you guys for joining me for another GSMC Weird News Podcast with your favorite host, Ryan Holloway, presented on and by the GSMC Podcast Network to fulfill all of your podcasting needs. Live long, prosper, watch for potholes. I will see you on Friday.